Picture this. It's November 9th, 2009, 10 p.m. You're online at GameStop with your mom, waiting for the midnight release of Modern Warfare 2. You've been waiting to play this game forever. It'll be the first FPS game you'll have ever owned in your life. Usually, you gotta play Halo at your cousin's house, but you were never able to play an FPS on your own console. But finally, you convinced your mom to let you buy the game, especially because you got a good report card. Even though your English teacher gave you a C, but you told your mom Mrs. Jones gave everyone a C, she's a dumb bitch, she can't even read. So now, you're waiting online in the freezing cold, way past your bedtime. The GameStop door is locked, the employee inside is praying that it'll all go smoothly, cause he wants to get home ASAP to play it too. And finally, after a few hours, the door opens, people go in one by one, and finally, you got a physical copy of Modern Warfare 2. But there's bad news. You have to go to sleep. So you go to sleep that night dreaming about playing the game, of all the trick shots and fun stuff you can do. 6 hours later, you wake up, brush your teeth, get dressed, go to school. In class, you're talking with your friend Billy about how excited you are to play it. But Billy is lucky. He's lucky because he has an alcoholic dad that doesn't give a shit about him and can sleep through a hurricane. So, Billy has been playing the game all night and tells you how much fun it is. You can't wait to play it. School ends, you finally get home, you rush to finish all your homework as quickly as possible, and finally, you sit down, turn on your Xbox 360, and hear the most beautiful sound that you have ever heard in your entire life. Now, I want you to think about all of this and realize that you'll never experience this ever again in your life. And if you never experienced it, well, you never will. See, video games are crafted by developers to give you an experience. That experience could be to tell you a story, to let you explore the world, or to shoot people in a game just because it feels good. But there is one major difference between single player and multiplayer games. In a single player game, for the most part, you have to play the game the way the developers intended for it to be played. There's a path you have to follow, a story to be told, and your job is to follow that until the end. Multiplayer games are also that, but you have real people involved too. And when you have you and your dumbass friends playing a multiplayer game, sometimes you do stuff the developers never even thought was an option. Let's take RuneScape for example. RuneScape is an MMORPG where you fight monsters, complete quests, and basically just train your skills until you max them out. That's how the game was intended to be played. But what I remember most about the game is doing stuff that wasn't intended, like getting married. I was a 9-year-old child, and I met a beautiful, low-poly woman who was probably a 300-pound man behind the screen, and we went to Lumbridge Church together, and my cousin stood in front of the altar and officiated the wedding. It was beautiful, but I really hope none of the developers got together and thought to themselves, one day children will get married in this game, because that'd be weird. I've also been scammed in the game, which is something that can't really happen in a single player game unless you develop a thief character or something. In the game, there's regular armor, trimmed armor, and gold trimmed armor. You get regular armor from smithing it yourself with different ores, buying it at a store, or by killing a monster and having it drop it. Trimmed and gold trimmed armor, on the other hand, can only be acquired by doing something called the treasure trail, which is basically what it sounds like. It's a list of clues you follow and decipher in order to find some treasure. But most people didn't know that, especially if you're a free-to-play player. So people who knew that would stand in the middle of Varrock and say trimming armor for free, and you being an idiot that wants some of that sweet trimmed armor and not knowing how to acquire it, you trade them your regular armor, they accept it, and then they log out, never to be seen again. You just got scammed, and the only reason that happened is because people can interact with other people. So because multiplayer games allow you to kind of stray off the usual path and make the game your own in a sense, it leads to experiences and memories that would never happen in a single player game. My favorite experience like this is in GTA Online. When GTA Online first released, me and my friends wanted to get a lot of money in order to get some cool cars and race them, but you had to grind for money, and we kept doing the same motorcycle race over and over again, making like $30K an hour doing it. And I was tired of that because the car I wanted was over $1 million. It was gonna take forever to get it. So I was like, there has to be a better option than this. And that night I went on YouTube and searched for GTA Online money guides until I stumbled across the glitches. And I forgot how the glitch I did worked exactly, but it was something like you get a car, you upgrade it, and then you just keep selling it a bunch of times. I forgot the exact steps, but what I do remember is that glitch made me $20 million in 1 hour. After 2 hours of that shit, I had more than enough to buy anything I wanted. I bought all the guns, every car I wanted, everything. The next day when my friends logged on ready to grind the motorcycle races, I pulled up in my fucking gold Bugatti. They're like, where did you steal that from? I said, bitch, that's mine. Drove their ass to my nice ass apartment and they were blown away. And together, we all did the glitch until they all had their dream cars too. And once we finally had everything, it might have been some of the most fun I've had in a video game in my entire life. I would put C4 in my Bugatti, park it by someone, wait for them to get near it, and then just blow it up. And I did that over and over again. I would buy the most expensive jet and just crash that shit into people. I had GTA fuck you money, and it was the best feeling in the world. I thought I was the fucking Wolf of Vinewood. And obviously, you can do that shit in single player, but it's not the same because NPCs are programmed to yell at you and die. They're not real people getting real mad at you and calling you the real N-word. When you can flex on other people in a game, you feel like the coolest motherfucker ever. Even if I was only 15 and looked like this, I didn't care. On GTA Online, I was a god. But eventually, me and all my friends stopped playing GTA Online, and the game is still there. I can still log in and see all my cars and shit, but it's not the same, and it'll never be the same. And that's what sucks about multiplayer games. I can play the GTA 5 campaign in 2013 and in 2023 and feel the exact same thing, but I will never be able to relive the memories I made playing online. Now, I want to break up this experience into 3 main categories, and those are games you'll never experience the same way again, games you can't experience again, and games you never got to experience. Games you can't experience again are games that you literally can't play anymore. Servers got shut down, the game's no longer available to download, like Flappy Bird for example. Unless your phone still has it downloaded, you'll never be able to play the original game ever again. And one of the games I enjoyed the most in that category was Gotham City Imposters. Gotham City Imposters might be one of my favorite FPS games ever made. It was the perfect mix of fun guns, goofy characters, good maps, just an all-around fun FPS game that didn't take itself too serious. But the thing about the game now is you can't play it anymore. It's over. Even if you wanted to play it again, you just can't. The servers are gone. On August 2021, the game was removed from Steam and the game can no longer be downloaded. And I'll never be able to play that game ever again. But those types of games are usually few and far between. What most people experience though is games that you'll never experience the same again. The quickest example of that being Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go first came out, for a few months, that's all anyone cared about. If you saw someone outside holding their phone up, more than likely they were trying to catch a Pokemon. But then it died out, and now if someone's holding their phone up, it's because you're ugly and you look like shit and they're recording you to send it to their group chat. Another prime example is Minecraft. Most people who start servers with friends don't have them last very long. The first week everyone's super excited. One dude's mining, someone else is farming, a third person is making the biggest chicken farm possible because that's what makes them happy. But by week 3 the latest, there's fights. Someone stole your diamonds from the chest in your room, someone ruined the symmetry of the windows in the hallways, dumb shit that doesn't really matter, and by the end of the week the server's over and you'll never play Minecraft with your friends ever again. Well, maybe you'll start another one, but then the same shit happens, and after that, you'll never play Minecraft with your friends ever again. Now, the most popular example of this though is with Call of Duty, and this is kind of a mix between this category and the previous one. Every year, a new Call of Duty drops. Whether it's good or not doesn't matter. Everyone flocks to the new one and leaves the old one behind. And you can still play the old COD multiplayers, but the amount of people on those servers past Christmas is so small in comparison to what it once was that there's no point of playing it. Because even if the new COD sucks, people want to get the new guns, learn the new maps, and try to reach max prestige all over again. Even if it's not enjoyable, it's just what needs to be done. Now, the last category might be the saddest. It's games that you never got to experience. And for me, those 2 games were Among Us and Modern Warfare 2. Among Us blew up during what I'll call the inside era, so I don't get demonetized, but you know what I'm talking about. And if you happen to open YouTube at all during that era, every single YouTuber was playing Among Us. Now, unfortunately for me, none of my friends wanted to play the game. They thought it was a dumb game for kids, which is understandable. So I tried playing with randoms, but that shit sucked because it was just all kids or people speaking another language, and you can't even defend yourself to them. They just vote you off for no reason. It was awful. So I got my fix by watching YouTubers play with their friends and play Among Us vicariously through them. And bro, watching YouTubers play Among Us might have been some of the most video game related FOMO I've ever had in my entire life. And now years later, I finally got to play Among Us with friends, but it's not the same. I can't really compare what it could have been like, but the magic is gone. It's like trying to play pin the tail on the donkey as an adult. I know where that shit goes. I'm not an idiot. Oh, Maybe I am stupid. The second example I have of this is with Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was one of the most talked about games in my school, and at the time, not only did I not have a console that could run it, but I also wasn't allowed to play FPS games because I was too young. My first FPS game was Black Ops 1, so I missed out on the Modern Warfare 2 era. And I'd watch videos of people playing the game, especially Sandy Ravage, and seeing face trick shots, but I never got to play the game while everyone else was. And I'll never know what it was like to try a 360 no-scope with all my friends. I'll never know what it was like to get noob tube from across the map. I will never get to experience prime Modern Warfare 2. And it begs the question, is it better to have played Modern Warfare 2 and lost it, or to have never played Modern Warfare 2 at all? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was definitely one of the longest ones I've worked on in a while, so I really hope you liked it. Let me know your favorite multiplayer experiences in the comments, and as always, have a great fucking day.